Hello there, my name is Edmond Jumla, and I welcome you to Tutorials on the Go. Today we are going to be discussing how to post transactions or make entries on the T account. Now the T account is the conventional way of recording transactions in accounting. Now with the advent of accounting softwares, layers of the T account is same. Some of them are recorded horizontally. The debit comes up and the credit comes down, and we find the balance. Now, one thing to note with the T account is that we will open the T account for both accounts or both elements in the transactions, and each T account is going to be named after the element. The example 1, we would have to debit cash account and credit capital account. So if you look at the T account here, we've opened an account for cash, we have opened an account for capital. So we will debit the cash account in the name of the interacting account, which is capital. Then we put the amount here, $5,000. Then we move to the capital account and credit it in the name of the other element, which is cash, and the name of the $5,000. When we move to the next example, we are supposed to debit car account and credit cash account. Now note, cash account is already open, so we'll now open an additional account for car and record this transaction. So when we come to the T account, we will now debit the car account in the name of cash for $1,000. Then we will now come and credit the cash account in the name of car for the $1,000. In the third example, the elements are purchases account and the cash account. Again, cash account is already open, so we will now have to open a T account for purchases. Credit the cash account in the name of purchases. Then we come to the purchases account and we debit it in the name of cash for $500. Let's move to the fourth example. It is between a purchases account and a payable account for $600. We are supposed to debit the purchases account and credit the payables account for $600. So here, the purchases account is already open, so we come and debit the purchases account in the name of the payable, which is Mr. A, for $600. Open the payables account and credit it with the name of purchases for $600. Now the fifth example, we have to debit the rent account and credit the cash account for $200. We already have a cash account open, so we have to credit the cash account in the name of rent for $200, then open the rent account and debit it in the name of cash for $200. Sixth example, we debit the cash account, we credit the revenue account with $800. The cash account is already open, so we debit it in the name of revenue for $800. Open the revenue account and credit it with cash of $800. Number 7, we are supposed to debit the receivables account and credit the revenue account. The revenue account is already open, so we open a new T account for receivables. We open the receivables account, debit it in the name of revenue for $900. Come to the revenue account and credit it in the name of Mrs. X, which is the receivable, for $900. Eighth example, we are supposed to debit the payables account in the name of Mr. A and credit the cash account. Both the payables account and the cash account are already open, so we debit the payables account in the name of cash for $400. Then come to the cash account and credit it in the name of Mr. A for $400. We come to the ninth example. We have to debit the cash account and credit the receivables account for $500. So we come to the cash account and debit it in the name of Mrs. X for $500. Come to the receivables account and credit it in the name of cash for the same $500. The last example, we have to debit the drawings account and credit the cash account. We have to open a new account for the drawings. Let's do so. We open the drawings account, debit it in the name of cash for $100, go up to the cash account and credit it in the name of what? Withdrawals account for the same $100. So this is how we enter transactions in accounting. This is where we are going to end our lecture for today. In the subsequent lecture, we are going to talk about the balancing of accounts, the closing of accounts, a trial balance, then move on to prepare the financial statements. If you have any reservations, you have any feedback, you have any questions, I will entreat you to visit our YouTube channel, DW Consult, or our Facebook, and drop them there, and it will be addressed. As I said earlier, we'll be more than delighted to respond to your issues. So we're coming away with another lecture. Thank you for joining us. God bless you.